Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. And right now it's time to discuss youth empowerment in digital economy. The President, Bola Tinubu, has pledged to prioritize the digital economy as a tool for youth empowerment and job creation, following recommendations from participants of the Senior Executive Course 46 of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS. The report called for the enactment of the Digital Economy Bill, broadband infrastructure expansion, and the migration of MDAs to the onegov.ng portal. Responding to the report, Tinubu directed the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy to collaborate with stakeholders for seamless implementation of the recommendations. He reiterated that youth empowerment through innovation and digital skills remain a core focus of his administration. The Minister of Communications, Bosun Tijani, announced that 11 states have waived right-of-way fees, while the federal government's $2 billion broadband project is set to cover 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables. With the ICT sector contributing 16% to Nigeria's GDP in 2024, the government aims to position Nigeria as a leading tech hub in Africa. Joining us this morning is Opeoluwa Taiwo, is Executive Director and CEO, African Bridge Initiative, Lagos. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. So the president obviously has always said that, his focus is to ensure the empowerment of youths. And right now we're looking at the digital economy, whereby first it already contributes about 16%, which I want to believe, we're not where we're supposed to be, but it's a good start. But what's your, what's your reaction to this initiative, the fact that we're looking at Nigeria becoming one of the greatest tech hubs in Africa?
All right, thank you. That's a big question for Nigeria in the 21st century. Nigeria, as of today, we are looking at projecting our economy towards the $1 trillion economy. Yeah. So, in terms of GDP, Nigeria also, as of today, we're talking about more than 250 million citizens, and more than 70.6% are youth. So what does that mean? We have a massive workforce in Nigeria, massive workforce that can transform the economy of Nigeria and putting it across the center space of Africa. All right, so when we talk about the digital economy and the youth empowerment, the meeting the president had with the Institute of Policy Strategy participants in Abuja is a wake-up call for us to understand that the 16% revenue or GDP income from the digital economy in 2024 is far below what we should be doing. Now, so what do I mean? When we talk about the digital economy, we're talking about an economy, we're talking about a space that will enhance the capacity of every sector, whether educational sector, health sector, agri sector. So the digital space helps us to enhance the capacity of each of these sectors. Take, for instance, as of today, we are having the health sector. The health sector of Nigeria can do more than what it's doing through the telemedicine, through the electronic medical portal. So what does that mean? At the comfort of your house, at the comfort of your office, you can access a seamless physician in Nigeria. So what does that mean? You have reduced security challenge. You have reduced time wastage. You have reduced resources. So the digital space helps us to understand that there is more to the economy than just having a normal GDP. The GDP of Nigeria as of today can move faster if only we can embrace the power of digital space. And who will drive the power of that digital space? It is the youth. The youth at the center stage. So the government must understand that when the government is putting up policy, are we ready to finance the digital space? Are we ready to empower the youth?
All right.
And when you're empowering the youth, we're not talking about giving stipend to the youth.
Yeah.
We are talking about having a sustainable arena for the youth in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of cyber security, in terms of online business, in terms of e-commerce.
Fantastic. I mean, I was just about to ask, what policies would you like to see right now?
Now, when we talk about policy, we have some percentage in terms of interest rate when we talk about credit facility. Okay, let me give, for instance, we have a particular e-commerce business on Lagos mainland. Now, as of today, that business has provided employment for about 20 young Nigerians. So, in the next 2 years, if CBN can open up that space whereby such a company can have access to about 200 million naira in the next 1 year. So what does that mean? That particular company can employ more than 100 youths in the next 1 year. So empowerment has come, employment has come, sustainability is what? Is seamless. So we need to have a rebate system for credit facility for SME, especially in the digital space. That will encourage a lot of youth, because as of today, the digital space is expensive. We must not shy away from that. Take for instance, look at the data from the different communication outfits. The data price has increased. So an average youth as of today might not be able to afford the data, the online data, for them to drive the digital space. So we need the government to come on board, break down the interest rates for SME to be able to drive within the digital economy. With that, there will be more business in the health sector, more business in the educational sector, more business in agri sector. With that, our economy can run on a seamless arena.
Fantastic. Now, I know we're talking about tech hubs, you know, and about a few states have even waived the rights, right? But right now, it's important that we still look at underserved communities, because a lot of times we think of the urban centers and that's just where, you know, civilization is. But how do you think the government can ensure that even in the rural communities, tech can still be a thing whereby everybody has an opportunity regardless of your background or your tax bracket? So how can the government ensure that all the youths, because right now we're talking empowerment, and if you empower the youths, of course, you know, when they have kids, now poverty alleviation has already come. So how can they play here to ensure that everybody can be a part of this?
All right, that's a good one. So for federal government to be able to carry all the youths along, especially in the rural area, like you have earlier mentioned, each state governor must come on board. Now, as of today, we are talking about the fiber cable to be launched across the entire 36 states of the federation. As of today, we have just 11 state governors that have signed off on that space. So what do I mean? We need the state governors to come on board. We need the local government chairman to come on board. So that each of the states can open up their land for federal government to be able to work, to have the fiber cable in each of the state, so that from Ogun State, the fiber can move into Borno State. From Borno State, that same cable can move down to Oyo State. From Jigawa State, that same cable can move down to what? To Niger State. When we have that fiber in all the 36 states, the rate of data will reduce. The cost of running digital business will reduce. So what does that mean? Empowerment becomes seamless. Empowerment becomes sustainable. Because you cannot empower youth if it is not sustainable. Right. Then it's become a stipend. There are difference between empowerment and what stipend. So we need the state governors to do what? To align with the federal government. With this, the economy will run seamlessly and there will be sustainability for the youths in the economy.
Fantastic. So right now, if you were to maybe address someone who's looking into tech, who wants to go into tech, what advice would you give them at the moment?
All right, so you want to, as a youth in Nigeria, for you to go into the digital space, you need, the first thing you need what? You need personal development. You must have that mindset that I must be developed. You don't get to the digital space based on just your normal knowledge. No, it is a very technical space. It is not as easy as people analyze it on the television. You must be trained. You can be trained on YouTube. You can be trained on TikTok. You can be trained on different space online. So the first thing is what? Personal development. You don't necessarily have to go to university before you enter the digital space, but you have to be trained. And for you to be trained, you must have an open mind for personal development. And that development takes time. It's not a one-day job.
All right, thank you so much.
Rome was not built in a day. So we need digital training. And that digital training must come as a result of what? Open mind and what? Ability for personal development.
Thank you so much, Opeoluwa. It's been a pleasure having you. I hope that, empowerment would definitely be something that we're looking at. And it's not just going to be on paper or, having little meetings and say, yes, we want to empower the youth. I hope there will be execution for all of this and everybody will benefit, not just, people in the urban centers, but even people in the rural areas as well. And maybe the cost of data too would be better so that everybody can just get on with it. But I want to say thank you. Yes.
And it's also be cheaper for all Nigerians.
Yes, hopefully. Anyways, we want to say thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure having you on our program this morning. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right, I'm speaking with Opeoluwa Taiwo, is the Executive Director and CEO, African Bridge Initiative, Lagos. And we've just been looking at youth empowerment in the digital economy and what the president and the government is trying to do with that, ensuring that they're empowering the youths right now. This is where we have to say goodbye on The Breakfast this morning. Thank you so much for having The Breakfast with me. I'll see you again tomorrow. My name is Rume Paulson. Have a wonderful day. Good morning.